Hello guys, in this video we will see how to use array of structures to store the records of some entity. Now when I say entity, entity can be anything. Laptop can be entity, mobile phone can be entity, employee can be entity, student can be entity. So if I want to store multiple records, if I want to store single record of some entity, suppose I have mobile phone, and now that mobile phone has different attributes, like mobile phone has ID, mobile phone has some brand name, and mobile phone has cost. So these attributes will be having different data types. So this is heterogeneous data. One is integer, other is string, other is double. And if I want to store this data, if I want to club together this data, then I will go for structure. Now using structure variable, I can store information of one mobile phone, but if I want to keep the multiple records of mobile phones, then I will need array of structure. So in this video we'll see how to store the records of some entity inside array of structure. So let me create new project. So I will go to the file, then new project. I will select Win32 console application in Visual C++, and here suppose I give name as say array of structure demo. Say OK. Next I will select empty project here and now finish. I will add source file, so right click on source files, add new item, C++ file, and name of the file will be source.c. Let me write the initial stuff. I write here say hash include stdio.h, then int main return 0. So those things will be there. And now I will declare some structure. I will take the same example. Suppose I consider mobile phone as an entity, then I will declare the struct mobile phone, and attributes of that structure will be, first I will take ID, which is integer, so ID of the mobile. Then I will take brand name, so that will be say brand, and I will take that as a character array. It is a string, so I will take that as a character array. And cost of the mobile will be double value. So if I ask you what is the size of this structure, then size of the structure is size of summation of its attributes. So this integer 4 bytes, this character 1 byte, but it is array of 20 characters, so it is 20 byte, and this is 8. So 4 plus 20 plus 8, so it will become 32. Size of mobile phone structure will be 32. Now in the main function I will declare array of struct mobile. So how to declare array of struct mobile? I will say struct mobile phone is the name of the structure, and say m is the array, so I take the size 100, which is say maximum limit, so I can store maximum 100 entries inside this array of mobile phone. And now first I will ask user how many entries user want to store, so how many records. So that value I will store in some variable, say n. So here I will say how many records, and suppose that is stored inside some variable n. So I will declare that n variable as integer, so int n here. And now I will actually accept n number of records from the user. So for that, inside for loop I will write printf scanf statements. So one counter variable I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, n times this loop will iterate. I have to declare the I variable. I will ask user enter record, or say enter mobile details. And I will scan, so scanf %d for ID, %s for brand name, and %lf, which is %lf is for double, which is cost. So here ampersand ID comma brand is a array, so no need to give ampersand since it is the base address. So I cannot write ampersand ID brand directly. I have to make use of this m array. So what I want, the first entry will go inside m of 0. That means this is array of 100 mobile phone objects, and I want to set the ID of m of 0, brand of m of 0, and then cost of m of 0. Then same thing for m of 1, m of 2, m of 3, and so on. I will store the ID, brand, and cost. So what I need to do, I will not put it directly. I will say m of I. So I is initial 0, and using dot operator, we know that in case of structure there are two operators. One is dot operator, other is arrow operator. So I will make use of dot operator. So ampersand m of I dot brand and ampersand m of I dot cost. So I'll scan all the three things, and now I will print the details which are taken from the user. So here it will be printf. So I will leave some tab in between /t, and at the end I will change the line. So \n. I will remove the ampersand sign, m of I dot id, m of I dot brand, m of I dot cost. So here suppose I write printf records, and I will print. So now let me run this. Control F5. So suppose three records I want to store. So enter mobile details. So first is ID, so say 1, then name is say Samsung, then some cost is there which is say 10,000, then second say Nokia is a brand and cost is say 12,000, then third one is say Oppo and some cost is there. So it has printed all the details. So this is the basic code which you can use to store the information of some entity inside the array of structure. Now when I write this scanf statement and this printf statement, there are always two notations. One is subscript notation, other is pointer notation. In case of array, always two notations are there. One is subscript notation, other is pointer notation. So in this case I have made use of subscript notation. So if I want to use pointer notation, how will be that? So if I want to use pointer notation, the same scanf statement will become something like this: %d, %s, %lf. I will write here comma, then instead of m of I, now m of I will become m plus I, or rather it will become asterisk m plus I. So I told you that for array notation m of I, or for subscript notation m of I, corresponding pointer notation is asterisk inside parenthesis m plus I, and before that ampersand sign. So here ampersand will be there. Then I will apply arrow here and then ID. Now ampersand asterisk, they are coming together, so no need to write them. So I will write only m plus I arrow ID, or rather it will be ampersand m plus I arrow ID. Okay, so let me check first and then we'll see. Then after that ampersand m plus I arrow brand, and last one is ampersand m plus I arrow cost. So this will be the scanf. A printf statement will be similar, only you will not write the ampersand sign. So here I will remove the ampersand and I will write here printf. Let me leave some space, \t, \t, \n, and now let's run. So how many records? Say 3 records again. First is Samsung, price is 10,000. Second is Nokia, say price is 15,000, and say third is Oppo, price is 5,000. So again the records are displayed. So this pointer notation is also correct. So you have two options: either you will go for the subscript notation, which will be like this, or you will go for the pointer notation, which will be like this. Now suppose instead of writing the whole code inside the main function, I want to implement two different functions. One is accept function, other is display function. So accept function will accept the information of mobile phones from the user, and display function will display the information. So what I will do, I will declare those functions here. First of all, I have to declare the structure. So structure declaration will be at the beginning, even before the function declaration, and after that you can write the functions. So suppose accept is a function which I am writing, and now this function is taking array of mobile phone objects. So it will be struct mobile phone. How to pass array? Struct mobile phone asterisk I will write, so that will be pointer notation. Along with that, I have to pass one more integer value, which is n value, number of entries user wants to enter. Then void display function will be there. Now display function will also take the same two arguments, the array and the n value, which is number of entries. So I will write the definitions of these functions below main. And I will call the functions in main function. So first let me complete the function definition. Suppose here I give m and here n. Here also it will be m and n. So the code which is responsible for accepting the information from the user, that means this code, I will put it inside the accept function, and the code which is responsible for displaying the information, I will put it inside the display function. Now I will become local variables. I will become local variable of each function. So int I here, same thing I will write in the accept function, int I here, and now in the main function I will call accept and display. So here it will be accept. To the accept I will pass m comma n, and for display also I will pass m comma n. Yes, now I think the code is complete, so let's run. How many records? Say 3 records. Now suppose I am giving some different ID. Say 12 is the ID, then Nokia is a brand, and cost is say 14,000. Then some ID is there. Anyways, ID is just an integer, so you can give any value. Cost is say 10,000 for Samsung, then 34 Oppo, and cost is 7,000. So records are displayed. So this is how you will implement accept and display function to store the information of records of some entity. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I will see you again in the next video.